Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving deep into the hidden world of online tracking. We're going to pull back the curtain and look at the actual architecture of a browser that's built from the ground up to protect you from it.
You know, that's a pretty intense statement, but honestly, it nails the reality of today's internet. There's a whole economy out there built on one thing: watching what you do online. And it all happens silently, right behind the scenes of the websites you visit every single day.
So, this leads us to the big question for this whole explainer. Is it even possible to use the web without leaving this constant trail of personal data behind? Well, to figure that out, first we have to really understand the machine we're up against. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of how this surveillance system actually works. It's like this invisible chain, but once you see how the links connect, you really can't unsee it. So this is the secret life of your data. It doesn't just stop at the website you're visiting. Oh no. The second you land on a page, these hidden scripts can fire off your info to advertisers, who then bundle it up and pass it along to these things called data brokers. In the end game, they build this incredibly detailed profile about you, your habits, your interests, your life, and then they sell it.
Now, the most famous tool for this job? Cookies. Just think of them as little digital name tags. A website you visit slaps one on you, and then, as you move around the web, other sites with that same tracking tech can read the tag. It's how they follow your every move and log exactly where you've been. But what happens if you block cookies? Well, this is where it gets even more clever. Trackers have this other method called fingerprinting. It works by grabbing dozens of little details about your device, things you'd never think about, like your screen size, the specific fonts you have installed, your browser plugins. It pieces them all together to create a digital fingerprint that's so unique it can identify you with scary accuracy. No cookies needed.
Okay, so that's the problem. It's everywhere, and a lot of the time, it's totally invisible. So now, let's flip the script and look at the solution. Let's see how a privacy-focused browser is actually built to fight back against this very system.
And this right here, this is the core philosophy. It's so important. Instead of making you hunt through confusing settings to turn privacy features on, this approach builds them in from the very start. Privacy isn't some add-on, it's the actual foundation.
The first line of defense is all about being proactive. It's this thing called tracker radar. Basically, it's a huge, constantly updated blacklist of known trackers. So when you go to a website, the browser instantly scans for any of these trackers trying to load and just stops them cold. They're blocked before they can even get started.
Next up, you've got to secure your data while it's traveling across the internet. See, even if a site can use an unencrypted connection, the browser forces it to upgrade to the secure HTTPS version whenever it's available. Think of it like putting your data inside an armored truck for its journey, protecting it from anyone trying to snoop along the way.
So, what's the result of all this? It's pretty simple, really. Your searches? They're not saved. Your history? It's not stored. And most importantly, you are not being profiled. What you look for online is your business, and this whole system is designed to forget it the second you're done.
Okay, that's all the theory. But what does this privacy architecture actually feel like when you're using it? Let's take it for a spin and see how it works in a real-world scenario. All right, so let's just do something normal. We'll pop over to a typical news website, the kind of place many of us check out every day. As that page starts to load, the Privacy Shield is already working hard behind the scenes.
And there they are, in the background, completely invisible to us. The website is immediately trying to ping all these different third-party trackers from ad networks and data analytics companies.
But before they can do anything, they run smack into that shield we were talking about. The tracker radar sees them, identifies them, and nope, they're shut down. The website still loads just fine, but the surveillance network trying to tag along, it gets left behind.
And then, for the ultimate peace of mind, there's this feature. It's called the fire button. At any moment, you can just tap it, and in one go, it completely incinerates your entire browsing session. We're talking tabs, history, all of it. Boof! It's a clean slate whenever you want it.
So how does this privacy-first way of doing things really stack up against the browsers that, most of us use every day? Let's put them side by side and see what we find.
Okay, this table really tells the story. You can see DuckDuckGo actively blocks those third-party trackers and stops user profiling. That's a yes. Standard Chrome, no on both. But look at incognito mode. This is the big one. Sure, it clears your local data when you close it, kind of like the fire button, but, and this is so important, it does not stop trackers online and it does not stop you from being profiled. Also, notice that bottom row? None of these hide what you're doing from your internet service provider. That's a whole other conversation about privacy versus anonymity. So here is the #1 thing to take away from that chart. So-called private browsing or incognito mode, it's really just for local privacy. It's designed to stop someone who uses your computer after you from seeing your history. It does basically nothing to stop websites and advertisers from tracking you all over the internet.
So, to wrap it all up, the architecture of privacy that we've just walked through really rests on these 4 pillars: automatically blocking the bad guys, always using the most secure connection, refusing to build a profile on you or save your searches, and finally, giving you that one-tap button to erase everything.
And in the end, it all comes down to this really simple but kind of revolutionary idea. This whole architecture, all these features, they're designed to enforce one basic principle for our digital lives. You should be the one in control of your information. Your data belongs to you. So the real question isn't just about what browser you use, but what you believe about who gets to own your story.